or your business doesn't become bigger. Like that's okay too. Like it can be whatever, literally whatever you want it to be. I feel like we see this a lot with when we ask people about their goals and we say, well, how much money do you want to make? What course do you want to have? When do you want to launch it? When do you? And a lot of the answers are like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So getting clear on what we want is like the most important thing, because like growing your business into the abyss doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, I want to learn English. Okay, why? Well, I don't know. Well, how are you ever going to do it if you don't know the why, right? So having a business, like the person who has a hot dog stand on the side of the road has a business, and Jeff Bezos also has a business. But like, which one is in your reflection and in what you want for yourself? Which one of those or something else is your
Mm-hmm.
version of it? Because there isn't a version of it. It is whatever you want it to be. So you can start small and you can stay small forever, or you can start small and grow, commiserately with whatever your vision for yourself is. And your
Mm-hmm.
vision for yourself will change, of course, over time as we evolve as people. But it really starts with what do we want? And that's the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and being honest with yourself too, right? Like if you want to live in Latin America and chill out and teach once a week, then be honest with yourself and then put yourself in a position to do that. I think that's it. We would do that with our teaching careers, right? We wouldn't work at a school that we didn't like, unless we felt like we had to. But that's the point of being a teacherpreneur, is that you're taking ownership over your life, right? So once you do that, then as you said, Andrew, you need to be clear with what you want to do, but you also need to be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with being greedy. A lot of people are saying, when we ask
Right.
that question, like, well, how much money would you like to make? People always, and it's fair, everyone's different, but we do hear a lot of conservative answers, like, oh,
Very
I'd like to
conservative.
make, I'd like to make like $1,000 a month or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, would you be happy making $5,000 a month, right? And it's not to be lofty, but it's just like, be honest with yourself, right? If the number is 5,000, then it's 5,000. If it's 1,000, as Andrew said, that's also fine. But the sooner you get to that vision, the better, right? Because then you can start to put those systems in place that are going to get you there. So, for example, it might be really hard to make $5,000 a month if you want to teach privates, but it'd be very easy if you had a course that you could repurpose and sell and run, say, every 5 to 6 weeks, right? Then it becomes a lot more manageable. So you just need to be, as Andrew said, and Leo's touched on as well, you just need to be very clear and yeah, just be honest. There's nothing wrong with being greedy. A lot of teachers are ashamed to say that they want to earn more money. I don't know, it's like the only profession in the world where it's like a bad thing to say that you want to earn more money. It's like, oh, if you're
I
happy
agree.
getting paid $17 an hour teaching in downtown Toronto with when rent's 2,500 for a 1 bedroom apartment, then continue to do that. I'm not going to judge you, but
Yeah.
let's be honest. But be honest with yourself. It's okay to want more, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the marriage of those three hats and other hats and whatever, right? It's not just about how I help my students. It's what's the vision I want for my life? What can I form around that actually does help people and then helps clients and helps myself at the same time? A scenario that we throw this out all the time, right? About like, if you wanted, let's use 5,000 as an example. Like if you wanted, that was the number that you wanted to make, what's the path that you would choose to get there? Would you choose to sell a $50 offer to 100 people every month? Would you choose a $500 offer to sell to 10 people every month? Or would you have a $5,000 offer and you sell it to
Mm.
one person every month? You know, all roads lead to Rome. It gets you there.
Yeah, they
But,
get you there.
but which
Yeah, yeah.
one do you think is easier, but better? Like which one better fits the vision that you have for yourself?
And I think your point that you just raised before Leo jumps in there is, you know, I'm saying that, and I know what you're saying with your analogy with the $5,000 and how we get there, and that is important. But I think teachers themselves really almost to their own default put their students in front, the concerns of their students ahead of theirs. And by no means are we saying that, in being a teacherpreneur, you're going to become some sort of cold business person. But I think what Andrew's trying to get at and what we're really trying to get at is this idea of there must be an easier way. right? There must be a way where we can really make meaningful, positive impacts in our students' lives, while at the same time doing what we love, and while at the same time getting paid, or what we want, what we feel is right, right? And becoming a teacherpreneur involves, again, those three hats that Andrew mentioned earlier. But it also really means like being honest and really prioritizing yourself, as well as the materials, as well as the students, and so on. Yeah.
The hard part's
And
done. Like
yeah,
learning how to be a teacher is hard. And for everyone who's listening, more than likely you've done that. You know,
Yeah. Well, if
business
they're listening to
process,
this podcast, they are, because they're clearly
yeah.
passionate about teaching. Yeah.
So we always say like you're in like a really great situation. If you think about anyone else who wants to start their own business, they're probably like an accountant and they have an idea for like a vacuum cleaner or something, like completely different, no expertise, no skills, really literally starting from scratch, right? If you're listening, like you have the hard part accomplished. Like you are a teacher, you're good at what you do, you have the skills, you have the expertise. If you're listening to this show, you're interested in getting better, which is half the battle. The business processes and all of these things are just things that you can learn. Like that's that. You know, the hard part is finished. So there's a huge advantage already inherently, you know, that you have.
this is all very true. But the one thing I find, even though they've internalized all of that, they haven't gone through the hard part. A lot of teachers, even those with a lot of experience, the one thing I see them struggling with, or a problem that they struggle with before becoming or just jumping into entrepreneurship, is that they say, I don't have any business idea. I don't know what course, I don't know my niche. And this is why I think we love to say that every teacher has a course in them. But before I talk about that, I want to go back to the productization, because being an entrepreneur basically means that you are productizing yourself. And when you think about that, you have two words, right? You have productize and you have yourself. And as Mike said, yourself, you have uniqueness. Nobody is like you. Nobody teaches the same way. You might have very similar teaching philosophies, but no two teachers will teach in the same way. And when you think about productizing, you have leverage, right? You have a course that you can create, an idea that nobody has ever explored, like the IPA example. And yourself, as Mike said too, has accountability, right? Productize has that specific knowledge. And yourself has also specific knowledge in there. So what you're doing is you're putting all of these pieces together into these two words. And this is why we say that every teacher has a course in them, because we truly believe that every teacher has a unique perspective, a unique set of experiences, and unique knowledge that they can then productize by sharing this with other people through a program or through a course. And I truly believe that every teacher I have worked with has something valuable to teach, and they have the potential to create and share and sell their own courses, right?